It's a 200-year myth. It's a 200-year multi-generational indoctrination that vaccines are safe, effective, necessary, and harmless. And every one of those statements I just made are lies. Vaccines are not safe. The definition of effective, we do a whole course on this at learning4you.org, which is our sister site, which is learning the number 4, YOU.org, on safe and effective. That safe is, not one vaccine has ever been proven to be safe because they don't use true placebos, number one, and they don't follow them long enough to see. All they're looking for is did it make you die? And if you didn't die, they call it safe. It never talk about asthma, allergies, eczema, ADD, ADHD, the long list of neurological problems, the autoimmune diseases that take a long time to develop. None of that is followed, because if it's more than 72 hours later that you develop a side effect, it says, well, that didn't have anything to do with the vaccine, which is an arbitrary line that was drawn in the sand in the early 1990s by the FDA. And we assume, when we hear safe, effective, that we as consumers assume that means it keeps you from getting sick. It's effective. But truly, when you look up the definition of effective in Webster's, what it means is that it does what it was intended to do. And so effective, really, what was the vaccine intended to do? When you inject that foreign matter, it is intended to develop an antibody. They call it a protective antibody, which it's not, because you can be fully vaccinated, have very high antibody levels, and contract that illness anyways. So, they're not effective. They're not safe. They're not safe, effective. They're not necessary. I mean, look at any completely unvaccinated child that you might see. They're running, they're ahead on their milestones. They're bright. They're inquisitive. They're not sick. They're not on daily chronic inhalers and all these. They're not constantly getting sinus infections and ear infections and all those things. And then compare that to a fully vaccinated child that's on multiple medications, ear infections, sinus infections, gut issues, neurological problems. And the unvaccinated kid gets a cold, goes away in a couple of days. So they're not safe. They're not effective. They're not necessary, and they definitely cause harm, every single one of them. So when the pro-vaccine people say safe, effective, and necessary, you can say, no, they're not to any of those things.